Hey everybody, so I've got some ideas and I wanted to discuss them with you today. Give me 1 second here. I'm gonna do a screen share if I can just find the button. There we go, screen share. Okay, I've got a collection of really wild ideas that I'm starting to thread together and I would like to just put it out there. So let me start at the start. So when my journey and all this weirdness started restarted back up in 2016, a lot of this stuff I hadn't heard of, or the things I had heard of were kind of wishy-washy and, basically the weird, obscure kind of sciences, or not so much sciences I'm looking into now, I've found have been hella more accurate here in Orion than they ever were in Sag. So in Sag, like I said, a lot of it was wishy-washy and who knows. I started following this guy when I first got on Twitter because of the Lost and Found bin. People were saying, get on Twitter, so you can advertise Lost and Found bin and we can talk to you more. And so I've been on Twitter ever since. And one of the first things I saw while just, scrolling was someone had retweeted this guy, Gary the Numbers guy. And he posted that he had a vision of an alternate world where Hillary Clinton won the election. You can imagine that grabbed my attention. So since then, I've been following his posts. You can see it's not followed right now because he gets shut down and deleted like every 2 weeks. But at any rate, I started to see the things that he was putting out about how numbers work in the Orion matrix and how they correlate with everyday situations in a very literal way, not like Sag, where it was wishy-washy and who knows, from everything that I saw at the time being there. But from observing from years and years, I'm like, he's got a point. He'll post, hey, it's an 11-day. There's going to be plane crashes. And there's all these news stories about plane crashes. Hey, it's a 4-day. There's going to be law and order, court stuff, police everywhere. And there will be police arresting people all over the place. Just for some reason, there'll be twice as many cop cars around where I am. And I know that sounds like, oh, maybe that's subjective, maybe it's not. But he really does at times put out some things that are very profound, and the rest of the time he's just trolling everybody and blasting everyone because that's just his personality. So anyways, that's what kind of started me in the journey of taking the kind of sideways ways of looking at reality more seriously, because it started to become not wishy-washy. It started to become something that was making more sense. So around that time, I was decoding headlines using an anagrammer, like the parts of headlines that are in air quotes. You can take those things and put them into an anagrammer and it'll come out with a different message. And it's often a message that has to do with what's going on in reality right now. It's just because the code of information in this kind of Orion reality that's coming at you, you interpret it one way, but there's several layers to it. Like how there's many, many veils to reality. You can say, oh, was that a hidden layer? It's like, no, all this information is coming at you. The very first, most obvious layer is like the headline as you see it. And then, like I said, the anagramming and the looking at different things and looking between the lines is the way to go deeper into the veils of perception of what is the reality information or reality code that's coming towards you, coming into your space and trying to inform you to make that a reality. That's why I think headlines and things are getting scarier and scarier and more worrying, because emotional manifestation comes from the heart, and it's far more powerful than just like your thoughts and thinking that, oh, if I believe in something, then it's real. That's great. Like that works too, but like the heart is 10 times more powerful than anything else you have. So if someone is trying to manipulate you in this strange simulated setup, and they're using your heart to make, like they're pulling at your heartstrings to try and get you to change your own reality, so collectively all of you change the reality to make it real, that's a far more powerful way of taking advantage of people in a way that they didn't even know was possible, because a lot of the time people believe that they have absolutely no, no effect or no say on what's going on around them. Now, be that as it may, this was something that kept coming up for me, was Loxadromes, or room lines. So I made a couple of different videos over the years about how I thought that your natal chart was kind of like your holographic projection map, that basically the different lights from these different, planets and stars and things coming in at different angles would inform these different kind of energies to make up your 3D holographic avatar. But I'm finding that it's another layer to this, if you will, is your Loxadromic astrocartography. Now, I've never heard anybody speaking about this, but this is something that I've been thinking about for a minute. So I particularly like this picture of the Loxadromes. But say that your ball here is Earth, even though we don't have to be strictly talking about a ball, because the looping of a Loxadrome can work, even if you wanted to put it on a different shape, whatever shape you believe that the reality realm or the simulated realm is, and mix that in with astrocartography. Now, let me see if I've got a definition of it here. So basically, it's like the natal chart. This might be the schematic of your 3D holographic avatar. So you would be like in the center, and this would be the sky, and this is all of the information that's coming in centrally to you to make you uniquely who you are. The other side of that, maybe the outside of the eggshell, if this is inside of the egg, outside of the egg is where were the planets, where were they trailing or room lining over when you were born? So, and I'm going to tie this in with the ME and shifting here in a minute. I know it's kind of long and blathery, but I'm trying to put these thoughts together on the fly, fam. So here's a good look at astrocartography right here. This is basically a loxodromic shape here, but what's going on is it's trailing through different parts of Earth, which means that you have different reality junction tunnels than anybody else. It's uniquely attached to your own avataric signature, shall we say. Your own energy signature of your 3D avatar self is also imprinted in the 3D simulated surroundings that you find yourself in. So when you get involved with randonautica, for example, or any other kind of method that you're using to try to induce shifts or try to shift purposely to a specific timeline, specific place, I believe that you could use these different pathways. Like, say these are all like Easter eggs in a game, or these are all like secret tunnels to get from one level to another, or goodness, there's noise going on out there. So let me see. I don't want to get too bladdery. Let me see. Can I just make up somebody to just show you how this works? So let's say they're male, let's say 30th of January, 1986. Let's say that he's born at like 1 a.m. and 3 minutes. We'll make him Chinese. Yeah, sure, let's make him Pakistan, okay, whatever. It doesn't, I mean, it does matter a lot because it'll change where your, where these different tunnels are. But what I wanted to show you, and it's not like a literal like tunnel you get into, I'm talking about something energetic here. This website is called Astro.com. So you can look for yourself where these different things are and what they mean. So you would click on something and the information will like come up on the sidebar here. But you can find out, you know, which one of these pathways is to do with Saturn. So that would be like time, density, negativity. You know, that might be a part of the world where you come across more troubles and get your ass kicked more by life. The pink lines are Jupiter, and you have all kinds of good luck, and it's like the opposite energy of Saturn. And I know that sounds like very wishy-washy, but literally if you travel to different places, which I know is very difficult to do now in the middle of COVID, you will literally feel different and you'll have different chemistry with the people around you. And I've been doing these experiments for a while before I made this video. But for example, like when I go to the coast, like when I go to the beach, I will have arguments with people. Like suddenly our energy like does not really function together. Now, I've done enough traveling to say that I know for a fact that I feel completely different in different parts of the world. It makes a huge, huge difference. So my theory is if you find exactly what it is correspondingly, and you know, all these different planets and things stand for different things. If you find whatever it is that you're looking for and you find where it is in reality in a physical sense, and you can actually go there, you may be able to induce shifting into a gateway that you want to go into. I literally think that this would work. I think it's true. I think when travel restrictions stop, I'm going to try it. I'm going to see what I can do. I think that this may be something that wasn't really looked at before. And I didn't actually go into it here, but one of the things that triggered some ideas about this too, apart from Gary Grinenberg and Loxadromes, was one of the previous long videos I made recently where I was talking about the movie Coraline and this YouTube channel called The Divine Venus. Like I randomly came across this girl talking about this video was really good that she was talking about Coraline, because that's a really strange kind of movie anyway that kind of has to do with astral projection but into a shadowy place with spiders which we've discussed astral spiders here before, so that was quite interesting. But her breakdown of it was that it was all to do with Coraline's different reality tunnels, these different notes on the keyboard of reality, if you will, because every single one is a different pitch and a different gateway, different frequencies that can be used in different ways if you understand them. And she was going through how the movie was actually about that, and how using some rather unusual aspects that I'm not even sure are even covered here, because there's more than this, but this is way enough for beginners like us to be dealing with. But I mean, if you're really into this, there's even further crazier planetary stuff. And she was talking about how those things could be used to basically skip over all of the challenges you face in life. So she was explaining how I took it anyway. You can skip all of these life lessons, but it comes at a great price. It was almost like explaining how celebrities sell their soul, or skip over all of their life lessons to just get all the things that they want, and how that was basically what Coraline was doing, and it came with a huge price. So I was like, that's giving me a lot of food for thought. And it made me think about these different aspects of self, the within and without that I spoke about before, the inside eye and the outside eye, and how this is a method to get more in touch, perhaps, with the randonautic fourth dimensional sense of self, where basically you're imprinting ley lines that are particular to you that can lead you to different places that are specific to different parts of yourself so that you can learn those lessons and do whatever it is you need to do. So that's basically the idea put down. I'm just using this video as like a sketch pad right here, just putting down the idea as it's forming. And I will take it further when I have thought over it a bit more. And I just leave you again with always a favorite of mine, Archie Brave's cymatic experiments showing the coding of the Orion reality, how when you split light, it literally turns into codes and pictographs. And I believe that these things are just another layer of that coding. This is you, and this is the imprint of you in the reality that you find yourself in. As in, there's your body, and here is your, like, conscious awareness ley lines. your own personal conscious awareness ley lines that are particular and different to each and every single person. All right, so that's enough mad stuff for the moment. Like I said, when I think about it more, I will talk to you more. I will put links in the description box too for like astro.com and everything else I was talking about.